Thanks, Eva, for joining me. My name is Kevin Nyango, and I'm the co-founder of Mtandao Varsity School of Soft Skills. This is a platform that we talk about behaviors or those characteristics that employers are looking for, what others call employability skills. And today, I'm not alone. Today, I am with Lawrence Githinji, the boss for KONE Africa. Is that correct?
It's KONE East Africa.
KONE East Africa. Right, you're the boss.
That's correct. Well, we don't use the word boss. I think I'm, let's say, the team leader. That's what I would call it.
Well, you're very modest. And I've got to say again, Lawrence, that you're very easy to deal. I mean, we've never met. You know, I wrote to you and you replied back. So I cannot, again, thank you enough for that, Lawrence.
You're welcome.
And let me ask you something. Is it true that most universities are actually churning out unemployable persons? Is that a myth or that is a reality?
Well, I think I would say that everybody is employable, but it is how prepared are they to join the job market, and also at what point are they joining? You know, the debate about half-baked people has been going on for long, and you ask yourself, at what point do you say somebody is fully baked? There's a lot of training that goes on within organizations, even when people have graduated and joined them. And so this sort of baking process or getting people to be employed, I would say it's a continuous process. But certainly there is a disjoint, I would say, from where we are in Kenya, for example. You'll find that there are some universities that work closely with employers or try to get people to be exposed a bit and get to understand what employers need. But that's really from the private ones. But when it comes to the public ones, which have the majority of the people, then that link is not strong. It's very weak. So you will find that they're using very old technology. For example, I studied engineering at the University of Nairobi. And some of the experiments that we were doing, with a very old, what we call the Ruston oil engine, very old experiments, which if you go to the job market, then you find something else. So yes, it is a yes and a no, I would say.
And I'm glad you mentioned the word, you mentioned what you do, as you're an engineer by training, isn't it? And I remember when I talked to PLO.
Yes,
so you are trained.
Sorry, yes, my undergraduate training was as an engineer. That's correct.
So I spoke to PLO about you, when he knows you very well, actually, and he was saying that at the moment, right now, university, for example, engineer students will graduate without actually having gone to the field. So that means that they're very good in theory, but when it comes to actually the practical work, there's a bit that of a gap. Is that true reflection?
Well, I think it really depends on which engineering field, but certainly one of the requirements, as you go through your engineering program, is that you need to be attached. You need to go for field attachment or an internship. But you find there are not maybe not so many opportunities because you have many students. At the same time, there are many workplaces that are not really geared towards having a student on attachment, or even when the student comes, they'll probably be given those tasks that are not maybe in line with the kind of experience that students want to get from there. But there are other organizations that also do it very well. But majority, I would say, of the students don't get the necessary exposure that they need, to sort of be able to come out and say that we've had fantastic experience. And if you compare with other universities, because I have worked I've worked in Europe with my previous employer for a couple of years, and it was basically a very strong engineering company, and I saw very close partnership between the company and the universities. So you would even outsource some of the work to be done by the universities in terms of consultants. And here we are talking of engineering stuff. So we're talking of design, you're talking of production methods and those kinds of things. So yes, we have a lack here. But just to add one more point, is that our economy really, when it comes to some aspects of engineering, let's say, for example, if it's mechanical engineering or electrical engineering or mechatronic engineering, what they offer now, you'll find that some of those aspects or some of those fields are not well developed on the, let's say, economy side. So we don't have enterprises or organizations that are doing a lot of this engineering, because these products that would be engineered are coming from other countries, would be Europe or Asia.
Wow, interesting. I mean, I don't want to go into practical side. Excuse me, I'm going to use as an example, because you already told us what to do. So when you're employing people yourself, so what comes first? Is it that they're able to do the job, or you look at the personality?
Well, it is not just those two. I think it is those two plus a bit more. And I think when we are looking at someone who's going to play a specific role, say, for example, if you are coming to work as a maintenance engineer, in the maintenance field, then you need to be very, very strong on the technical skills, what we call the hard skills.
Yes.
Yeah. So electrical, the wiring and those kinds. So you need to be very, very strong on that. If you are coming to work in a different field, probably that still aspect, you're from the same engineering class, but maybe that aspect is not maybe needed very strongly. So you need more of the soft skills. But in both cases, the soft skills are very, very critical. And actually, you find that a lot of people are not successful in their work because of not having sufficient soft skills. So there are studies that have been done, Harvard University, Stanford Research Institute, had shown that a big percentage of people, more than 60%, they actually quit their jobs within a very short time because they didn't have the soft skills, even though technically they were very good. They had very good grades, graduated with very high scores, but they're not able to succeed at the workplace.
So how important is the personality aspect of it when it comes to soft skills? I know there are several soft skills that you're going to talk about, but when it comes to personality, how important is that? And I'm asking you this again because you're an employer, and I'm sure you've sat in lots of interview tables and you've seen various characters. So I suppose, I know it's unfair to judge somebody within a short period of time doing an interview, but how important is it, the personality aspects during an interview?
Well, yeah, thanks for that. That's an important question, and personality is very, very, very important. And you'll find that recruitment agencies and even companies, when they shortlist up, they will take them through some kind of test, the psychometric test, which look at personalities plus also look at other aspects of aptitude, but basically just get to know this person. How does this person think? How does the brain work and all that? And if you sort of split the personality into two, say you have extroverts and introverts. Now, if it is a sales function, then you want an extrovert. If it is back of the desk kind of task where somebody can work independently or needs to work independently and doesn't suffer from being away from people, then an introvert there will thrive. But it doesn't mean that an extrovert cannot do a work that's being done by an introvert and vice versa. Personally, I'm actually an introvert. I do not suffer when I am alone. I can sit alone and do quite a lot of work on my own. But in the working process, through having different roles here and there and having to interact with people, then there's some extrovertness that has developed over time, and people will actually think I'm extrovert.
So this information you're sharing now, Lawrence, not so many people have them. I mean, universities don't talk about soft skills at all, you know. So what is the problem? Is the problem the workforce, or where the training is happening, and that's at university?
I think the problem is everywhere. First of all, in school, nobody talks about this. And also, if, for example, you exhibit particular behaviors, which will be very nice soft skills. For example, you are very good at communication, you want to talk to people and those kind of things. Right from primary school, you are told to keep quiet, you know. As you continue, you find that you're cultured in a way that really gets you to focus on the books, on the material that you're reading, and nothing else. And you only supposed to collaborate with the other people when you have been put, for example, in a project team. Then you find out, for example, that aspect of collaboration is again not developed. And so you'll find that there are some soft skills that are not nurtured or given space to thrive or grow. They are in fact suppressed, so that when you come out, you really are missing some ingredients that are very, very important. You go to the workplace, then you find again there's nobody who probably is talking about these skills, and you'll find somebody is suffering. They don't know how to collaborate with other people, and yet the work needs collaboration, but nobody is focusing specifically on some of these soft skills to ensure that the work is done effectively.
Now, when we started the discussion, Lawrence, you said that in your experience, mostly in Europe, there was a partnership between universities and some companies. And allow me to use KONE East Africa, where you lead. Do you guys have those kind of platforms where you try and connect with the universities and give students a practical platform where they can come and train and also develop those kind of soft skills? Do you guys do that?
Yes, let me just give an example. About 2 years ago, or just over 2 years ago, in partnership with the Technical University of Kenya, KONE actually went to the university and even picked some students, about 9 of them, and brought them in for training. You know, people who are finalists brought them in for training abroad for a couple of months, almost 1 year, and then brought them to work. And some are working within, supporting the company in Kenya. And actually, others are working, supporting other countries within the Middle East and Africa region. And we're talking of engineers here. So that partnership, we've seen it being very, very important, and we see that there are more opportunities to partner even more, and even see how maybe to influence the curriculum. And even I think what you're doing is talking about soft skills. They say that engineers are quiet, they just focus with numbers and all that. Within the engineering sector, KONE can actually go and try to influence also and say that, you know what, we need the engineers to come out also with other skills. Not only KONE, but KONE together with other companies in this engineering space, because that needs to be developed, certainly right from the training level in the universities.
Indeed. I mean, interesting. I mean, you make it sound very easy, but it's never it's never that let me ask you, KONE, how accessible are you? I mean, because you find that what you're telling me now, really, for example, when I went to my first degree, I did in Kenya, actually. And it just be very difficult to reach out to companies, to leaders, to come and speak to students. That it's not just about the practical part. There's that element that goes behind the scene, the personality, the leadership part. How to manage stress, those kind of stuff. It was difficult to find people to come and speak to students. So part of this is a role for employers here, isn't it?
Well, yeah, of course. I mean, I think it's been changing. Let me say, before it was difficult, but you'll find, I'm sure you've spoken to some other leaders from other sectors, and they've told you it is actually not as difficult as you think nowadays. I mean, for example, you reach out to me with a message, and I responded and within a short time, we were able to sort of make this deal for me to come here.
And thank you for that.
Yeah, and it's the same for other people who try to reach out to me, and they will just find me very easily. You just need to send me a message. I mean, we have a lot of industry leaders on LinkedIn and other platforms, and it's just a matter of reaching out to them. Let me just tell you something. We have a forum, which there are actually two forums. There's one which I call this, which is called the CEO Forum, which has CEOs in Kenya or leaders of organizations from, let's say, Christian background, I would say, that come together and they sort of try to help each other, say, sharpen each other. And whenever there's been a call or if there's a request for any of these leaders to go and participate anywhere, they are more than willing to be available. That is one. Another forum, which is called the Men's Book Breakfast, which is a forum where we are with other people, not necessarily leaders, but even emerging leaders. Then you find people coming together and they are able to share this experience together without any obstacles. So the accessibility is there, and I can say maybe for some leaders is difficult, but certainly for the ones that I know and I've seen, I think people are making themselves more and more available because they realize that you need also as a leader to be able to know what is on there, what is required in the market. You need to know the kind of employees that you're going to have. So you need to understand them. So you need to actually be able to connect with them, and that's not possible if you lock yourself up.
Because I like that. And listen, we shall talk about the role of internet. And I've got to mention that I know about one of the projects you mentioned about the men's book breakfast. And I know you lead that. That was your project, isn't it? You started that as a way of giving back, or you started this platform, Lawrence. Is that correct?
Yes. I started the platform in 2019, and the reason I started it was there was a call, from especially young people, younger people than me, who wanted mentorship, and I asked them first, a few of them, or three of them, asked them, would it be okay then to read with me a book on leadership, and let's do it over breakfast? How does that sound? And they thought, yeah, that's a good idea. And so I brought on board some other people who are already advanced, let's say, in their careers, some CEOs and people in middle level, and then we started that. And we've been running through with that. And with COVID now, we started having it online last year, and we had people participating from all over. I mean, Tanzania, USA, all over Kenya, even Uganda. Now we have people from Nigeria. And it's a forum where you have then all this mix, let's say, of people with different experiences, and they're able to share. And some of the things that we talk about, like if you're looking at habits, what are the habits that you need to inculcate, as a person, and some of them touch on the soft skills.
Yes. This interesting stuff, Lord. I mean, there are many things. I had prepared a particular question I wanted to ask you, but I see what I'm going to do now is I'll just straight away, because the stuff that you're mentioning to me, I think are quite important, and I wish I knew this 10 years ago. Perhaps I'll be somewhere else. For those who are just joining us, this is International University School of Soft Skills, and I'm talking to Lawrence Githinji, who is the leader of KONE East Africa. Lawrence, when people say that hakuna kazi, or I cannot reach influencers, so it is their fault then, because clearly there's a platform that you can reach people like you.
Well, there is a platform to reach people. The thing is that also you see that there are not so many opportunities as as demand and supply. There is a mismatch. But what do you do to ensure that you stand out? Now you're looking for a job. What do you do to ensure that you stand out? And there are many people who send me messages telling me that I've been out for a job for a couple of months. I'm looking for a job, or I've not been able to get a job. And on LinkedIn, if I showed you my inbox, you'll be amazed. It's so many people. What do I tell them? I tell them three things. One, I tell them you need to present yourself very well. So even your CV needs to be able to stand out. Your LinkedIn profile needs to be outstanding. So when you are writing about yourself on LinkedIn, there's a section which is about you. How much information do you have there? you have one line. I tell them you need to put 3 paragraphs at least about yourself. Then you need to connect with people, and that's what we're talking about. You need to get network. You need to invite people. Don't be afraid to invite people to connect with you. Look at the sectors where you are, likely you would want to work in, and then find people in those sectors, and then connect with them, invite them. Make sure that recruitment, people in recruitment agencies are connected to you, and then be active, like yourself, Kevin. I mean, if I want someone to now talk about soft skills, who am I going to invite? I will invite Kevin. Why? Because Kevin has talked to me, Kevin has talked to other people, and Kevin has a big network of people, and that network is very, very important in terms of your visibility. And so you need to work on those things, and then those things, they make you stand out. And I say nowadays, people shouldn't be looking for jobs, because jobs are looking for people.
Wow, really, Lawrence, really, I mean, that's interesting. Well, listen, let's talk about social media, because you talk about LinkedIn, and lots of people usually use social media, for example, Facebook, for other reasons, really. But there's also a huge opportunity for social media where you can reach out to people like you, and even you can invite others. So I just like to please just explain us again, the importance of social media when it comes to opportunities.
Well, social media is very important because, number one, it presents the opportunities that are available to many people, and many organizations nowadays, they will advertise their jobs not only in their websites, but also on social media. For example, LinkedIn is a good one that you will see jobs being posted there. And then you will see even employees in those companies promoting those jobs. So for example, in our company, we had an opening, and when it was advertised on LinkedIn, I also posted it.
Yes.
I put it, I shared it, so that we're able to get it to as many people as possible, and then people to apply. For organizations, social media is a good platform for employer branding. Remember, companies also want to be perceived as good employers, and they are deliberately doing this as in employer branding. So social media sort of gives out the visibility of the organization and the opportunities to potential employees, and then employees also, they have opportunity to present themselves to potential employers. And some of these platforms, they already have algorithms that work out your, based on what you put on your profile, who is most suitable. And that's why I say it's very, very important that you fill up your profile with the right information, because these algorithms will already filter out some people, and then they say, based on the requirements for this job, then you are, let's say, 90%, you have a 90% chance of getting this job. So it's very, very important, social media, when it comes to employee branding, and also connecting these, and also just looking for jobs.
And that goes without saying, that comes the role of the internet now, as in, you should take advantage of that, isn't it? Where you can not just reach out to employers, but also as a platform where you learn and you build yourself.
Yes, that's true, because you brand yourself as an individual. You're able to learn a lot, and there's a lot of things that happen in the social media. For example, in one of the jobs that I had, I was a product manager, global product manager, and I was tasked with developing products and promoting specific products from the engineering fields. And through social media, I was able to get into forums where you are able to gain knowledge and to know actually what is really required in the market, and what are some of the pain points, And here we are talking about engineering items, So social media plays a key role not only in getting jobs, in personal branding, in employer branding, but actually even in doing your job and ensuring that you do a good job.
Right. And good. I mean, Lawrence, I can sit here the whole evening just listen to you. I mean, it's very, these are things, as I say, they sound very easy, but if you don't know. I don't like asking people in this platform about their personal story, but somebody just sent me a text here, and I will read them as it is. Ask the guest, how did he get there?
Okay, so by there, I think they assume, I'm assuming it's my job.
Yes, because KONE is huge because, Lawrence, let's face it. I mean, KONE is a huge, it's a global company, isn't it? And most of the times, when you mention about these companies, people think there's someone else who is the boss, not people like you. I mean, you look to me, you're just a guy next door, if you see what I mean. No, seriously. I mean, I can meet you at the bus stop and I won't think anything about you. That's your well presented. You look, quite far. But there's that perception that if you measure a particular company, you got a particular picture, but they're just human beings. So I suppose this is what this guy is trying to ask. How did it happen then?
Well, first of all, I think we need to know that people who work across all organizations, they're just like you and me. We are all the same. We don't need to live in a different way because we are all human beings. We are all the same. We are all equal. But for me, I would say that if I can quickly just give my story or how I've progressed very quickly. I finished university, and after university, I spent 1 year actually in a local church, as a youth leader and organizing youth programs.
And where was that? Was that in Nairobi, Lawrence?
Yes, this was just in Nairobi, and then I applied for a job. But at that time, just like now, people were saying, it's not easy to get a job nowadays unless you know people.
Yes,
that's what we said at that time, and we are talking of the 90s, 1996, so that's a while back, and I applied for I sent applications to 11 companies. 3 of them replied with the regrets. One of them, sent me. One of them actually even included my certificate and sent it back to me. And I replied back to that company, thanking them for that regret that they had sent me. And this one, I had this from a friend who had told me somebody who had done that. And I did that. But I told them that if there's an opportunity, please consider me. And they actually invited me for an interview after a couple of months. And I started working there. And I worked in that company for about 4.5 years, a leading company in the water industry. That's Davies and Shatley.
Yeah.
In those 4.5 years, I tried to give my very best, and I got 3 Employee of the Year awards in that time. And then I applied for another job in another company, Atlas Copco, which was advertising in the newspaper. I sent an email on application, and then I went for an interview, and they took me. I didn't know anybody in any of these companies before. And I worked there for 20 years, different jobs, different countries, fantastic company, in engineering field. I joined KONE actually just last year when they were looking for a managing director. So if you go through my profile on LinkedIn, you'll see my journey. But basically, my journey has been just like a journey for any other person, and learning as much as possible and trying to give your very best, and also being ambitious, because you need to be ambitious. You'll apply for opportunities. 10 of them maybe they won't come through. But what I normally tell people is that if you apply for 100 jobs and give your best application, surely I think there is one that will come through. There is one that will come through.
Yes, and you talk about applying jobs, Lawrence. Allow me just to go back a bit. When you talked about social media and internet, and you mentioned about 3 things. People need to be present. They need to reach out, and they need to stand out. When you talk about standing out, what's in particular are you referring to here? Or, for example, someone like you, what will you be looking at? And not just in engineering, but from the soft skills point of view.
Well, I mean, the thing is that, okay, on social media, of course, if you want to start out on social media, then you need to communicate about things which you're involved in. If, for example, it's your work, and try to go an extra mile. You can write an article, you can write a paper, you can do something. You can share about that field. And that helps people to see that you're somebody who's passionate about what you are doing. So you need to be active. And I would say social media is like being in a big meeting. And I normally tell people, never keep quiet in a meeting. There is something that you can always say. There is something that you can say. Then people can hear you. Because if you don't, they will listen to the ones who are talking. So you need to engage, you need to post, you need to write, but then this should be relevant to what you're doing. And then again, also it should not be something that is consuming all your time. You need to allocate time for it, outside working hours, and you can do something about it. I mean, there are many aspects of soft skills that, I'm sure you've talked about, but certainly for you to stand out is like you're trying to sell yourself. You want people to see you, and how will they see you if they don't notice you? And how will they notice you if you are quiet? You could be a very fantastic employee, you can do a lot, but people need to see you, they need to hear you, they need to feel you, they need to experience you.
Goodness me. Again, for those that have just joined us at the International University School of Soft Skills, and today I'm talking to Lawrence Githinji, who works for KONE East Africa. Lawrence, even though internet comes with opportunities, but also it has a negative side of it. And there are two things. Number one, the cyberbullying aspect, where it keeps people out. And number two, people always assume that you need to know somebody for you to reach that somebody. So what I'm putting before you right now is the aspect of cyberbullying. And why do you think people should not be discouraged by those that bully others on the internet?
Well, I think it's very important. You'll always have, in many places nowadays, they call them haters.
Yes.
Or people just try to see the glass half empty. So they will always try to look for something wrong. And we're not talking about criticism here, because criticism is good, positive critics that will help you to improve. But you're talking about people who just go out and want to make you feel bad, and make you feel like you're nothing, you're not even worth it. So when you open your mouth to talk on social media, you write something and then somebody wants to put that down. So it's important to take note of such, but not to take this to heart. Already the social media platforms provide a way of dealing with people who are cyberbullying, So if you go to any platform, you'll see ways of dealing with that. But I think you really need to keep your focus on what you are doing. And this is not just in social media, but even in life in general, you need to keep the focus. So if you decide that I'm Kevin, and every week I will be having a guest coming to talk about soft skills, and then people start saying, oh, Kevin is not even doing a very good job, and a lot of other things, you still need to keep to your commitment and your timetable, and you build the momentum. And cyberbullies and others will sort of fall off. They will go and look for other people who get impacted or feel impacted by what they are saying. So don't give them a chance to sort of bring you down by even engaging them, I would say. Personally, I don't engage.
Right. Just keep focused, isn't it? I see that's the message here.
Yes, keep moving.
Right. Well, listen, so I've got 2 segments and I'll let you go. So when people say that you cannot really reach particular somebody, or kuna kazi, it's just a perception. And people, and it's like, what's the word? Self-prophesying, like you are failing not even before you start.
Yes, it's a reality. Let me not dismiss it. Let me not say that it's that is not easy to get a job. It's difficult to get a job because of, let's say, like we say, the opportunities, supply and demand. But at the same time, it is possible to reach people. They say that anyone you want to reach anywhere in the world is only 6 people away. Yeah. If you're looking especially for a mentor, it's not many people away. If, for example, I ask you, Kevin, I need to talk to someone in the UK who is in this field. Do you know anybody? You'll probably tell me, no, I don't know someone, but I think I know somebody who knows someone.
Yes.
So it's only 6 people away from anyone that you want to reach to at maximum. But what initiative are you doing, or are you having to sort of to be able to do that? I know that some people say that, it's easy for me to say this because, I am already here, because, I already have a job, I've built my career. No. We're always in pursuit of something. And whatever we are pursuing, we always take the initiative. We don't, what you call in tennis, tank. You know, there's a concept they call tanking in tennis, where you see somebody who is very good and then they go and then they see the game is not going their way and they just decide to give up and they play very badly so that they lose and go. No, no, no. We shouldn't use that approach. We should always try. I think also very important, maybe to mention here, is to have a mentor. Look for a mentor, and mentors are many. Reach out to someone and ask them, can you be my mentor? And they can guide you in that journey.
Is the mentorship a bit overrated, Lawrence?
Sorry, just come again.
Is mentorship overrated?
Well, I've had that question before. I don't think it is overrated, but it needs to be well defined. You know, people confuse mentorship and coaching. People mix up, you know, just mentorship and reaching out to someone. But you need to, I think it's good to have someone that you can speak to about basically your journey, and it could be about different aspects. It doesn't have to be one. It could be something about career or a specific thing in the career or even just life in general. It's good to always have someone probably who's a few steps ahead or one step ahead that you can talk to and just give them let them know what you're thinking and ask them for your opinion. That's still part of mentorship. You know, it doesn't have to be, you know, something very formalized and all that, but have people that can speak into your life.
Wow.
So I wouldn't say it's overrated. I think it's very, very important.
Well, why this information to the public? I mean, see, listen, so my first degree, I got in 2010, so I'm not that old. But what you're telling me now, you know, they're very, very important, and I just don't know why. So, should universities be talking about this, or is it something you get from the community?
Well, certainly the community has always had that, you know, from the African community. Actually, we have, I would say, too much community and people speaking into you all the time. So that is there already, naturally. But in our education system, it's something that needs to be enhanced even more and more. And also to be embraced by students. You know, if you introduce a lesson, for example, if it's an engineering class or medical school, you know, or arts or any other subject for that matter, you go and say that we are going to be having a class on soft skills. I wonder how many people will be showing up, and you say it's optional. It's an optional class. I wonder how many people will show up to that class. Your guess will probably be as good as mine, because there is pressure and weight that is being put on the other subjects. Then you find these that are very important, they will not be given attention.
So it is lack of awareness.
Even by the students.
So it is lack of awareness that people don't understand actually what opens the doors are soft skills, isn't it?
Yes, one of them is lack of awareness, and the second one is a lot of weight being put on hard skills as opposed to soft skills.
So hard skills means to pass exams, isn't it?
Yes, if they said the exams were 50% soft skills and 50% hard skills, then of course people will study. They would pay attention and develop these other skills. But the weight is put on the hard skills.
Yes. Well, Lawrence, I don't want to keep you here for long. Now, this is the last segment where I normally ask guests to introduce me to someone else. So, for example, I was introduced to you by Githinji for the, I can't remember the company she works for, but she don't introduce me to you. So, I know that, you know, people obviously, so please, I would like to introduce you to another person that will come here and talk about soft skills.
Yes, so I will introduce you to someone. Would you like me to say the name, or you want me to?
Yes, please. Well, you can mention the company if you want to. Carry on. Come on.
Yeah, so I will introduce you to a doctor who's a heart surgeon, and also he's also a lecturer in the medical school at the University of Nairobi. He's also an author, and he's also somebody who's passionate about, you know, people developing and young people. So it's called Dr. Mark Awori. and I will introduce you to him. And now that I've mentioned his name, I'm
Yes.
sure he has no choice but to participate.
No, well, I've got evidence now. And listen, I like you mentioned the doctor because the other day online, I was talking to somebody about soft skills, and they were saying that soft skills is nonsense. We just need people who can do their work. And I asked somebody, if you're going to a doctor who cannot communicate with you, cannot actually understand your diagnosis well, then that's pointless. So there's no discipline that does not need soft skills.
Certainly, soft skills is about people.
Yes.
And if you are going to be just alone, then you don't need soft skills. But in life, you're never alone, and you need those soft skills to interact with people, to collaborate, to communicate, to encourage, do many other things, So without soft skills, then it's very, very difficult to succeed.
Well, Lawrence, I know I've said this word several times, but I think I cannot really say it enough, for you being here. I know how busy you are, and it's really a pleasure also, to listen to the horse's mouth, because sometimes we talk about employers, again, we just assume what wengine too, but there are people like us. So I cannot thank you enough for your time, Lawrence, and also now you're part of my network, so you cannot go away, that's for sure. And I'm going to join.
Yeah, you're also part of my network. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
No, just allow me to mention this about the men's book breakfast. So how can someone, those are listening to us right now, I'm sure they'll be very interested to know more about the men's breakfast. So where do you find this information from?
Well, we have a hashtag on LinkedIn that's called the book breakfast, or anybody following me on LinkedIn will see that. Also, the men's book breakfast that people have posted. And we have a sign up that goes out every quarter. So we do a season every quarter. So we'll be starting the Q2 season in May. That's already signed up. That's already full. We have about 130 men participating. Wow. So now they will be posting, and then in Q3, anybody who wants to participate, then they can see that. They can follow us on LinkedIn, and also we're also on Twitter. So
wow, so it is very popular, Lawrence, then.
Well, yes, it is popular, but actually the thing is more of men coming together, finding a space where we can be able to sharpen each other and also discuss matters to do with men and make us better men. And so the ones who've participated have seen value in it. And also, it's a way to build a big network of people around.
Right. And so about network, listen, for those that are just joining, this is Mtana University School of Soft Skills, and I was talking to Lawrence Githinji. And three things that stand up to me again here that you mentioned, and I think is worth sharing again, is, you need to be out there if you look for opportunity. You need to be active and also get a mentor. And I think sometimes you mentioned it's very important, it's a network. You use the word, you're only 6 people away from that person that you want. So please, Lawrence, thank you very much for your time. And again, I'm glad that you're part of my network. And thank you for showing up.
Thank you for having me, Kevin, and all the best. And keep moving.
Oh, thank you very much. Have a nice evening, Lawrence. I'll speak to you soon.
Okay, you too. Bye. Bye-bye.